What's up, guys? It is me, Trinok, back with some more South African Overwatch action. Benchwarmers taking on Alt F4. With me is not Sylvania anymore, it's Mr. Sun Phoenix himself. How's it going?
Hey, it's going well off the back of a pretty stellar win casted by yourself in Sylvania. Thank you so much for that. I'm excited to see what other teams are doing and not have to poop my pants while I'm playing because it's scary stuff.
It was a good game, and you were also playing Zarya, which is not usually your role.
So I'm actually canonically a off-tank player. So before, a couple of legs ago, I was playing Diva Zarya, Roadhog.
What?
But when Jen joined the team, I gave way to his superior off-tank and moved to that flex support role. But yeah, no, Zarya is actually my favorite hero in the game.
I know you as
the
I know you as the Mimi Lucio.
Yeah, well,
bouncing around
it's
the map.
funny because I played that role for like half or like 2 legs or like a leg and a half. But I think that's when you just started casting. So that was the first time you saw me was as a flex support. That's enough about me.
I might have casted you a few times, not as off tank, but I think all my VOD reviews have been as you just memeing as Lucio.
Yeah, for sure. Because I'm sure you cast me on Roadhog. There was a time in Leg 2.
Oh
where
yeah.
Like,
I've definitely seen your Roadhog be badass in the latest legs as well. Now that I think about it, yeah.
Cool, ready?
Yeah, we're ready. Yeah, sorry. Let's get on to these teams. So, quite evenly based, and it looks like you've got Blur and Space Panda. So that's a power couple on Alt F4. 2 of Equinoxes, and you got some of what team is not Groot again?
Not Groot, I believe, is Inex
Project. Yes. Yeah. So you got 2 of Project and 2 of Equinox. It's going to be a little bit of a synergy in terms of that, and then everyone else just filling out the rest. Mito, quite a strong player. Why don't you break down some of these guys for me?
I think you missed out a really big heavy hitter, and that's Z-Lord on the side.
I was leaving that heavy hitter for you.
I appreciate that. Well known for his stellar main tank play on Goliath Gaming. Well known for his hyper-aggressive style on that Reinhardt, supported well by my 2 supports for this competition, Pac-Man and Griff, or Pac-Man and Lagby, so it was. So, used to playing that hyper-aggressive style. I'm sure that's going to work out really well in this kind of more under-coordinated, let's say, a tournament with teams that are not pre-made.
I wouldn't say under-coordinated so much as everyone's kind of just finding their footing a bit more.
Yeah, for sure. I think under-coordinated is a bit of an overstatement maybe, but for sure less coordination than he'd be used to on Goliath Gaming. And then he'd be used to playing against, so he might be able to get away with a lot more if he does have that space. We are waiting for somebody here, Dingo Dow by the looks of things.
It looks like Dingo Dow just loading in. On Z-Lord, from what I've heard of Lagbeast, Z-Lord just charges and just doesn't care if the team's there anyway. So I don't know. I don't know if playing with a team that he's not used to is going to change that.
That's true, but you just know Pac-Man's sitting in the background there somewhere, popping those.
Oh, you're just waiting for Z-Lord to charge off. Yeah, that's true.
Making him look as good as possible. And as someone who's been playing with Pac-Man, I can say it's a nice feeling. Having that support on your back who you know is going to have your back no matter how stupid you play.
Yeah, that's true. It seems like, I mean, obviously we can't really decide on what they're doing now. We're just in a waiting screen. But we got a few new guys, Dingo Dow, Rolo, Memes, and Skullduggery. So it's going to be good to see what these guys bring out.
For sure. I'm not sure if these guys are freelancers or haven't yet shown themselves on whatever teams they've joined. But interested to see how they play and what they play. And I'm sure if they are new, hopefully they're having a lot of fun playing with some of the high-level guys in South African Overwatch.
Yeah, and I mean, I think what scares people away from Overwatch, especially in South Africa, where the only league you can enter into already has such established teams, is that fact that you're just going to play and get decimated by the top teams. And now when you can come in such a casual environment, really, and just have fun with top players, low-level players, it's a great way just to introduce everyone to what's going on.
Yeah, exactly. I mean, the VSG League has received a little bit of criticism for how it handles new teams entering the arena. A lot of we had some drama in the past with ladder teams not being able to find matches and that sort of thing. So to kind of bridge that gap in this environment and just dip your toe into competitive Overwatch a little bit is a really useful thing that the Talon Cup promotes.
Why is your mic clicking?
Oh, that's a long story, but there's a cable that clicks a little bit on the side here.
Oh, I
Something I
see.
can do about that, unfortunately.
Just clicking in the background.
Hopefully it's not too bad. I'll try and keep my head as still as possible.
Just never move.
Yeah, I just don't move. Just need to invest in a neck brace and I'll be fine.
We are in Mecha Base. I obviously, I mean, most of my experience in Busan is casting it.
Mm-hmm.
Why don't you run me through how you approach Mecha Base as a competitive player?
Well, to be honest, we on Leiden and also, if it wasn't for Talon Cup, I would have played this map about 2 or 3 times in total. But it's a very Mecha Base especially. It's quite a deceptive map because it's inside you'd think the map is quite closed off, focused on close quarters combat, but it's actually a lot more deceiving. It's a lot more open than you think it is. But sightlines aren't great for heroes like Widow from what I've seen, but a Pharah can still get a lot of work done. But I have seen a lot of teams promoting that brawly style with the Reaper and that kind of close combat style. But I've seen a lot of dive work really well on this map, or at least teams wanting to run dive on this map that seems to be quite successful as well. And it's about controlling those high grounds because a lot of the brawling will happen on point. But if they've got hit scan DPS on the 2 high grounds on either side of the point, that can be a real issue. And it's true of a lot of these maps. I don't know the names of the map, but the one on the edge of the map on the outside, that one's also got a lot of high grounds that can be abused by Widowmaker and that kind of thing. So strong hit scan play can really propel a team here, and strong dive play to counter that can also make a huge difference.
And if you are playing the dive and you're looking to get the high ground, it also provides a good point of just jumping off of, moving around, which is great.
Exactly. But if you're going up against a team with a strong deathfall composition running a goats or anything with a brig in it, you will struggle on this map like you will with any other map. But you do have a lot of space to set up and to move around, unless the opposition team cuts off the choke point, which you see a lot of teams doing. They fight quite far forward on the entry chokes, and it makes it really difficult for a dive team to come through, find the space to look for initiation on the backline. And the way the sightlines work with long-range hit scan DPS, it's the same with an Ana, for example. So you can leave your Ana on a different map, basically, untouchable, while still able to get the heals onto her tanks and her DPS, but from a really safe position with good sightlines.
Just trying to figure out what happened to Dingo.
Yeah, apparently Dingo DC'd and his game is displaying updates.
There shouldn't be an update. Oh, there's a Windows update. The mighty Windows update that brings everyone down.
Yeah, I had that this morning, thankfully.
I'll probably find that mine's going to tell me about an update later today.
Randomly in the middle of this course.
Yeah, just, hey, do you want to update? Do you want some update?
So have you had a chance to have you had a chance to watch any of these teams play, or is this your first time seeing them?
Unfortunately, yesterday I was working the whole day. I also would have been involved with the casting. Today I've only managed to cast the one or two teams, the two teams that I had, which was I can't remember. Jack and the Kaplan's. It was you guys. It was Jeff and the Kaplan's and BFG Division, which is your team, obviously. So I've only seen those. I did watch some of the VODs this morning, but I was mostly looking to make sure that the overlays were working fine. If they were buggy, I could just bug fix them quickly.
Which they were. They were working very well, to your credit.
Yeah, so, I did see that. I mean, there was one or two issues that I just discussed with the producers, and we fixed it this morning, and everything's now good to go. So awesome. I wasn't really able to watch the teams in action though. Life is crazy. You get meetings and then you get casting, and then
yeah, for sure.
Everything happens.
Well, that'll be a bit of a trial by fire for us then. See what these teams run, and we're getting a sense now. Finally, getting started here. Dingo Dal seems to have sorted out this issue.
Yeah,
You're
he's
getting a
back in.
sense now of what these teams are running, and this is something I'm quite a proponent of. Running the Ryan Zara, you saw when we played, we were running exclusively Ryan Zara. And the reason we did that is, well, A, because Bubbles isn't comfortable on the Winston, but B, because it's just when you don't have a coordination that a pre-made team, you know, your Goliath Gaming, for example, which you were talking about earlier, if you don't have that coordination, dive can make you look real silly. It can be really hard to get that together and make it work. So Ryan Zara is a much easier comp to make work with people you're not familiar with.
Yeah, I did see you guys loving their composition, and also when you got a tank like Z-Lord who is known for his Reinhardt, why not Ryan Zara?
Yeah, exactly. Play to his strengths, but let's see how things unfold here.
Straight into the fight on that side room, the two tanks charging into each other, Blur and Z-Lord bashing heads. They're just going all out and early as possible. Looks like this is going to be a good fight for Alta4. We're getting some advantage here. Blur just creating a lot of space, swinging that hammer, and able to just take out the Zarya of Dizzy. An advantage for Alta4, and they need to make their way to the point.
Yeah, for sure. The key thing in that team fight, straight away, not good on the Mega, blocked off the high ground there, was with his team. Wasn't with his team. That was basically like him dying. It was as good as a death because he wasn't contributing into the team fight. And after that, Z-Lord could just progress forward with that aggressive style. Already built up an ulti along with Rolo. Memes and Blur though as well. So it's going to be an Earth Shadow. Whoever gets the strongest Earth Shadow ulti is going to win the round. Let's see what happens.
Oh, if he get denied the space with the Earth Shadow, it's not going to matter. Mito9 just swinging that chain. Dragon Strike through. Everything going wrong for Benchwarmers at the moment. As Mito9 just smashing this chain. Pops the rally. Extra armor. Here we go. Alta4 ready to show you you don't actually press Alta4 in the middle of the game because it ends bad.
Nice aggressive play. When we talked about Z-Lord and how aggressive he is, but Blur showing he's no slouch either. Set up there by Memes with a really nice dragons there. Blur charging in, turning, shattering, and they just clean up the fight after that.
Yeah, it's very clean play from Alta4 in terms of how they're engaging, and they're just trying to lure Benchwarmers into very unfavorable positions at the moment.
For sure. Looking forward to see how the other team, whose name I've now forgotten, how they respond to this. And they're responding by taking a slightly different angle. Z-Lord with the aggressive charge in there. See what happens.
Yeah, there's that charge you're talking about. Z-Lord charges in, gets blocked by Moira. Does manage to make his way back to Rolo, who's ready with that Moira just to heal him up. But Coalescence is out from Space Panda, and the Graviton Surge does manage to catch some of Alta4's players, but to little or no success or, I don't know, benefit of Benchwarmers.
Oh, this is huge though. Doesn't look like there's any follow-up, and it looks like BT will take this one, unless Blur something to say.
Blur!
What is going on?
Yeah, Blur definitely had something to say, but the rest of his team wasn't quite on the same page.
Yeah, unfortunate. That looked great, but like you said, not enough follow-up there. Unfortunate ulti from Dizzy there, not finding enough to win that team fight outright, but they did end up taking it in the end, and they did also force out ultis like Blur's.
Yeah, it was a costly fight for Alta4. Benchwarmers now looking strong. They have the Blizzard ready to go.
That's the ultimate. Yeah, if he gets a big Blizzard, let's see what happens.
Oh, Blizzard is popped. Does manage to catch Space Pammer. Dingodao just going to focus it down with the Roadhog. And Skullduggery trapped in a corner, trying to get back and just support some of his team members, unable to.
Yeah, really nice play from Not Group there. That Blizzard and a great wall to back it up to make sure the tanks couldn't escape. And that also has the effect of bringing Z-Lord up towards his next ulti, and Blur's not quite at his yet. So if they can win that shield battle, which they should with the Roadhog, that'll be a good way to win this next team fight.
It's a good fight as the tanks charge each other down again. Love bashing heads together. There's the Earth Shadow though. Catches them nicely. Blur going down is a bad situation for Alta4 as they find themselves missing a tank, and on the back foot, Nokru just going to be spamming down with that ice cannon, trying to get someone healed. Dizzy winning that tank battle is going to do well to keep Benchwarmers from succumbing to any sort of force from Alta4.
Yeah, and Z-Lord started that fight with a shadow. He's already got another one quickly ready to go. That's some strong stuff from him. I think Dingodao a little bit late with his ulti there, probably a bit unnecessary, but I don't think it's going to matter that much with the way Z-Lord's playing.
With the way Alta4's playing, oh, sorry, Benchwarmers are playing. Blur splitting the team, tries to get in there. Oh, the ice wall is beautiful! Blur is on on his own, and the Coalescence can't even help him. He's just going to get spammed down, and a nice Graviton surge from Dizzy as he gets a subtle little 3k in the background there. Backcap is trying to happen. Blur managed to escape. Surgeon Dune does get to the point, but Dingadile not having it, makes his way back now. Is going to contest Blur on the back foot, surrounded by Blue. Not a good situation.
Not at all. Dizzy making up for his previous so far with a huge Graviton surge. It looks like this one's not over yet.
Not over yet, but it's going to be over soon. The Blizzard does manage to catch Space Panda. The supports are out. Toxin Socks is just trying to do his best with that Lucia, but he is really slow. And a Hammond has come out from Mito 9. He's trying to just disrupt and get some fast movement going, but he's getting bashed away. Oh, that shatter. Mito 9 gets charged down and just exploded into a ball of fire. Blur unable to do something when there's an ice wall in your way.
Yeah, really nice play from blue team there. I think, like I was saying, Dizzy made up for the first grab by hitting a huge second grab, getting a nice 5k. He says, "Mom, get the cameras." I can't disagree with that. I'm sure we'll see that play again in the form of a play of the game. But it was really close to being a real mess with not Groot. That wall looked good when you look at it the first time. But the second time around, when you think about it, he actually blocked off Zlord's shatter completely there. Zlord hit about 4 with that shatter, and then there was a nice blue wall in his way that he couldn't get around. But it turned out to be quite good in the sense that it blocked Blur off from getting his damage in, and it set them all stacked up so that Dizzy could hit a huge grab.
Yeah, the team play is phenomenal, and I'm loving the restraint from Zlord. He is one of those aggressive Ryans, and he's very much sitting with his team and letting them just form around him, be that anchor that they need.
For sure, but mixing it in there with this old school aggression as well, which is what we like to see.
I mean, you got to be aggressive.
You got to be aggressive. Someone's got to do something, right? Might as well be him.
The memes on just not enough for Alt F4 right now. As he gets taken out early and he switches out into Soldier 76.
I'm sure that's why I picked that name. It's like that huge play from Nita there. It takes out Roller with 2 sweet direct hits, but I don't think it's going to be enough. It's most of the team is down already.
Yeah, Space Panda, Dingodile has her in his sight, and Notgroot gets her in the end. So denying space to the air. Notgroot doing fantastically on the Pharah. Let's see if memes can shut him out with that Soldier 76.
A really nice Pharah play from both Pharahs there. Both of them killing their opposite numbers, Mercy player. Direct hits in mid-air, but by that point, blue team had cleaned up the fight mostly on the low ground. Let's see how they approach this next team fight.
I mean, they're taking it slow. They're working their way in slowly. Blur shield goes down. Could be bad. Notgroot had him in his sight with the rocket launcher. Blur in a bad situation. Does try for the Earth Shatter. Gets a 4K, but no follow-up. And then the rocket barrage gets eliminated by memes. Finally showing some kind of worth for his team as they make their way onto the point. And it's just Dingodile not allowed to stay alive for too long. Zlord with an Earth Shatter himself gets the support down. Oh, the stagger was a bit... They were just trying to stall as long as possible at that stage.
Yeah, I guess, but I would have rather held my Earth Shatter there. But hey, I don't play many times for a good team, so I don't know what I'm talking about. Blur with a huge shadow of his own to start that team fight off, but let's see. They're coming in hot and fast here, our blue team.
Now, but 3 ultimates for Alt F4 is going to be quite a tough fight for the Benchwarmers as they are trying to make their way onto the point. Blur just going to be focusing down Dingodile. He's going to have his Earth Shadow up and he's going to get ready to use it at a moment's notice. 5 ultimates right now, son. It's not looking good for Benchwarmers Assault.
Not at all, and that's a huge problem. You want to pull out a couple of ultis with that push. Looks like they were trying to do a dry push there. Spend no ultis of their own to pull out a couple of the enemies. But they only pulled out memes, and they've still got 5 to contest with. This is a real strong position for the red team, which is Alt F4, I believe.
Yeah, they pulled out memes and Dingodile popped tees because of Blur's aggression. So wasting an out Benchwarmers not in a good situation. Coalescence going to be popped out as she just trying to protect her team on their entrance. But Skullduggery comes in with a beautiful Graviton and the Rocket Barrage. Too much out, too much damage. Skullduggery doing fantastically.
That is a nightmare for the blue team. They needed to win the team fight of that ulti. That's one ulti you can turn the tide of the game, even though red team has a huge ult advantage. One good grab, you win the team fight, but the mutual grabs favored the team with a classic follow-up in the form of the Pharah ulti, and red team just demolished blue team with that great combo.
Yeah, red team getting in sync, using their ults together nicely as Meter9 just secures the high ground.
Oh, flanking Roadhugger in the back.
Yeah, what can he do? Zelo charges into support, gets put to sleep. Now being spammed down by Meter. Blur shut down. Nano boosted. Pounder token in a bad situation. And this Roadhog is not going to have a fun time when there's an orange hammer smashing into him. But Blur does get charged down by Zelo, who then comes in with an Earth Shatter, but gets taken out for it. This is just trading back and forth at the moment as both teams are giving it their all just to hold on to this point as long as possible. Soldier 76 coming out with the Tactic Visor is going to get deflected by Knockroot on this Genji. And here we go. Knockroot has to do something to keep his team in this and carry them forward. Trying to get memes out of the fight. Sees the danger of that Soldier 76. Gets focused down. And this fight is pretty much on the back foot for Benchwarmers.
Yeah, not looking good for them. The trickle is still coming in, but I think Altifor in control of this one. See how quickly they can clean it up, and they do just that. That takes it to a 1-1. Well played to Altifor.
Yeah, that was very nicely played. Zelord on the Hammond trying to just stay on the point as long as possible. Just left it for a fraction of a second, and the overtime was too much.
Yeah, but I mean, that was a losing battle anyways, I think. At that point, you're looking more towards the next game than you are winning that one. One thing we didn't talk about in that match was Mito's use of the Pharah there. Knockroot ended up switching off Pharah. Not sure what he switched onto, but you saw how Mito was able to control that map with those high grounds there. Ready to respond to the Graviton, but also just putting damage over the shield directly above that the hit scan on red team couldn't deal with.
Let's see if he can do the same here. Sanctuary's got a little less high ground to use, and it looks like Dizzy is going to be the one who's going to try challenge that space.
Yeah, compositionally we're seeing similar comps, but there's no hit scan on the side of red team. Opting to go for that flanking pressure instead. Let's see how that works out as Mito takes down Zelo straight away.
Yeah, not having Zelo, you don't have the hit scan to challenge the opposite Pharah. It's going to have to be the Pharah battle to do it. This Blur's just going to be pushing Knockroot and Dingodile away slowly but surely. They have the point.
Big charge.
Memes with the Tracer. Just capping it slowly but surely. Blur's coming up with his Earth Shatter so fast to get that, and this is going to be red team's flip. Point,
man,
score, I don't know.
Blue team need to back off quickly, not get picked off. This could be a lot of time bought for red team if they're not careful. But Zelo switched on to the DPS now. We didn't mention that. Shatter, huge shatter by Blur.
And Zelo pays the price.
I'm sure he's thinking, if I was on main tank, I would have blocked that.
Yeah, he may have forgot he didn't have a shield that time.
He did play DPS for Goliath for like a hot second in sort of League 3, I think. So,
I remember that. They were trying things. They were trying memes.
Exactly, they were trying memes. So not unheard of, but definitely not what we would consider his strongest role.
I mean, that's what this tournament's about, though. Letting the new guys introduce them to Overwatch, letting the guys who play regular roles switch off a bit, and it's all for fun.
Exactly. But looks like blue team gonna get aggressive here with a nice pick from Zelo on his opposite number in the Tracer. Big hook.
Oh, not a bit funny one. Mito does get a kill, but then Zelo finally coming out with that Tracer is going to get a good frag. Tox out of the fight, no more support, and Meter9 the last left trying to defend this point, but no one's playing the point. They're C9ing it, son.
Yes, they are. They need to get on there and switch that thing up ASAP, because now he's just going to try and stall, but no, he doesn't get in there. A little bit of time lost, but it's better to clean up the fight rather than focus on certain point.
This next fight is going to be massive. 6 ultimates on both teams. Zelo and Skulldugger will get those up very fast.
This could be a mess. Let's see. It could come down to who has ultis after this fight. This fight might not even matter if blue team wins it, but they use all the ultis.
Zelo with the stick on Tox. That was beautiful. And now this is a bad situation for Altifor. You've lost your support and you've lost that nano boost.
He's back though.
Oh, but then Memes does the same. There's just the trading of pulse bombs. Knockroot gets charged down by Blurs. They trade blows and gets sacrificed.
Oh, what is
to the guards, but the barrage from the behind allows the res to go off. Dingodile pops his whole hog, gets good value out of it, and there they go. Just bashing heads continuously. 2 tanks against each other over and over and over again.
Man, Zelo. made fun of him for 1 second, and now he's proving us wrong by really dominating this team fight. Picked up 3 in that fight and opened it up with a great pulse bomb that forced out the res.
You shouldn't have said anything.
I shouldn't. Well, I mean, maybe I won.
Well, maybe you should have said something. Yeah. Do we want a OP Z-Lord or do you want an underperforming Z-Lord?
I want the Z-Lord that means this game is as even and exciting as possible.
Okay, Mito9 back to Space Sander is going to make her way back in, and he does have the barrage ready.
Oh, that's a big opening from him. They're going to have to use the res again on that.
Oh, but Z-Lord getting memes with that pulse bomb again is going to be bad for them, and then he stops the revive. Revive does manage to go off, however. And now he's just going to be focusing down Dizzy, who's in a bad situation. Mito has it in for him. Mito just going to capture the point on his own. He says, I don't need a team. Who needs a team, son?
That dude needs a team, but he already had one, so it's totally okay.
His team can
really
charge
nice play
him.
from Red Team there, and they've got ult advantage going into this fight. That Shadow could be the game maker. Mito with his barrage could be the game maker as well.
Yeah, we
Looking
got
difficult for blue team here.
Shatter into Barrage is going to be a huge combo that they're definitely going to be looking at going. Is Blur just waiting for them to move onto the point, has the Earth Shatter ready, is going to just charge into Not Group, but gets stopped by Dingo Dow. Still waiting to pop it. He cannot afford to die, that's true. And then he shatters into a shield. You hate to see it. The Barrage did go out in the background and got Dizzy, but no worth. And no one was on the point. C9 all the way, bench warmers. What are you doing?
Yeah, that was a C9, but I think they had that fight in the bag anyways. The 2 picks on those 2 heroes controlled it for them. And like I said, this is what we were expecting to see. Dizzy with a huge 5k. Really nice play from him.
Yeah, that was absolutely beautiful. Just cleans up the rest.
Damn.
That
makes me jealous.
When I grow up, I want to be like Dizzy.
Exactly. I want to get 5Ks with myself in a graph. But a really nice play from blue team there. But this looks like it's going to be a really close matchup. I think that one came down a lot to ult economy at the end of the day. The winning team had 2 ults going into the final team fight and were forced to play around that such that they couldn't find their way to the point in time.
We did have a situation of the 6v6 outs, and we thought that the team that came out on top with the ult advantage would have the advantage, but both teams expended the same amount of ults in that fight. And in the end, Blur's Earthshatter didn't actually do much. And like you said, it was mostly just benchwarmers trying to play around the fact that they knew Blur probably had the Earthshatter up.
For sure, but the other ulti, the Barrage, did pick up a kill. So on the one hand, you got Blur's ulti kind of just zoning, and that meant Groot had to keep his shield up, couldn't move towards the point without exposing his team. And on the other side, Mito just putting pressure on with his Barrage. So worked out really well for them with the ults.
Well, let's hope that the benchwarmers can get back into this fight in Watchpoint Gibraltar. How do you think they can do that?
I think this map can often come down to which team has a stronger Widowmaker. And if one team has a really strong Widowmaker, can the other team respond with a good dive or a good Widowmaker of their own? So I'm interested to see what the hit scan DPS can do. Yeah, I know Z-Lord, we might see him play Widowmaker. It seems like he likes to play that hit scan. Mito, I know, can play Widowmaker, but Memes as well, I presume, given that he's been playing hit scan mostly already. So I'm interested to see how the Widowmaker runs. But if we are going to see Ryan v Ryan, Ryan Zarya v Ryan Zarya, I think it's just a matter of details, controlling ult economy, and also how you execute on those combos with the graph.
Yeah, the combo play is such an important part of the meta right now. And it's very like, I mean, the meta itself is very loose based. I think the meta is more about how you comboing than what heroes you're particularly using.
Yeah, yeah, could be. But I think the international meta and the local meta for this competition are quite different.
Oh, completely. I mean, international meta is 3-3 all the way.
Exactly, and there's a lot of Doom for Sombra, which we're not seeing much here at all. Well, we might see a Sombra from Memes here, which could be interesting. But I don't know that Mito Symmetra will see the light of day. But yeah, I think that combo, and you saw on the second point of Busan how that just ended up turning the fight. One team had the combo, the other team didn't, and they won the team fight with both grabs were used. And from there, they just took the next team fight pretty cleanly. So could be an important factor here, but ultimately it's just about follow-up on the shadows and the grabs.
Yeah, which has been a huge problem for both sides, not following up key ultimates, and in rarely, in retrospect, like really huge ultimates.
Yeah, big 4 or 5 man shadows, big grabs, that sort of thing. Dizzy's showing he didn't really need follow-up, he was his own follow-up, but there were a few weaker ultimates before that. But yeah, follow-up on those shadows is a big one we've been missing. But Azilord is back on the Rhine now, by the way, so let's see what he can get done.
He's going to be looking to just jump down onto his opponents, and there's a very sneaky Mei just waiting to jump behind as well, but put a wall down probably.
Yeah, not group in favoring this Mei rather unusually, but it seems to be working out okay for them.
He does get a wall down, but captures Skullduggery as well. Not going to matter too much when Blur falls. Skullduggery going to have to get out of there, trying to protect that backline. Mito on fire, maybe just hoping to melt Mei's ice.
Yeah, maybe, but that's unfortunately not how this game works.
If only.
Mito trying to get in the backline, they're not able to find Dizzy. Good response from the support game.
Yeah, so
Man.
oh, nice. Yeah, a bit of the Shimada brother showdown. Dizzy wins that one out.
Exactly, and that's a huge waste of time for the team here. They got to wait for Mito to get back. I see memes in server room trying to get something done, but he's now got to wait for Mito before he can try and make anything happen. But he will be looking at not good here for the hack, I think. Does get it off.
Well, he's back in the fight and he's ready to go, and he's got revenge out for Dizzy. He's trying to just focus him down, and there we go, nano boosted Winston. As Blur gets nano boosted, it's just going to be trying to spam down the left click. Mito jumps in as well, has the Dragon Blade ready. Dragon Strike through, does clear out LTF4, but Mito's still there, and he's still a huge risk to this team and a huge danger. Z-Lord now is in a bad situation. He's got a man with a blade, and all he has is a hammer to save him.
Seems like Blue team responding really well to that. That looked disastrous in the opening. Great dive, but even bigger Toxin Socks showing his skill with the anti there with a huge anti-heal followed up with the oh, that's a late death from as I'm talking him up. He decides to feed his life away right at the end of the team fight. But the anti-heal made a huge difference there and could have really spelled the end of this defense. But a good response from, I think, Dizzy in particular. That Dragon Strike bought them so much space.
Yeah, it was a great just a space maker, as you said. I think you need to
EMP?
just say
Yeah,
who's
maybe?
not going to win this game, because then they are going to win the game. That's how it works. The opposite happens. Oh, Dizzy with the Storm Arrow, just going to try focus down. And the Dragon Blade from Mito does go out and does do a lot of damage to Benchwarmers.
Really nice play from them. They are wasting time in server room here. If these guys die late here without contesting point, it could be a huge stagger for the people that are still alive, and it looks like Dingo's going to die late. They're still coming in trying to defend here, which is actually not a bad idea, but now they're not going to get that fast turn. That close turn, right?
It's very interesting that they're holding this out. Earth Shatter comes down from Z-Lord, and he gets Space Ban out, and he's got Blur on his sides, and now he's got Toxin Socks as well, who manages to survive for a fraction of seconds before the hammer finally finds him. Self-destruct, Z-Lord gets his shield up, finds no one. Skullduggery does manage to get the remake, but Z-Lord is still just able to have so much space and wreck it up as much as possible as he finally hits Skullduggery with that massive hammer.
Man, I stand completely corrected. I was already looking at the next spawns, trying to make sure no one gets staggered. But Blue team just decided they were going to win the team fight outright with a great Transcendence coming out from Palnatok there that really secured the point for them. Meant Z-Lord could drop his shield and just swing, get that shatter, take that Moira out and take the team fight from there.
Yeah, it was a great entry using that Transcendence. And also, I mean, at the beginning of that fight, I said, why are they doing it? And it worked out. Blur and Z-Lord are going to just trade Fire Strikes now, however. And Blur gets stunned out of the fight, gets pushed back. Nice Mei War. Mito 9 is nano boosted. The nano blade is out, finding Knockroot. Not able to find anyone else though, but the payload is pushing forward. They got to contest it now. Palnatok does make his way on. Coalescence comes out, is going to keep his team alive. The Space Panda is just trying to stay on it, using the fades as much as possible to stay alive and stay on this point. But the overtime is there. Space Panda's dead, and that might just be it for the dreams of LTF4.
Yeah, that looks like it's all over for them. I think not Groot and Z-Lord again, they're a bit of anti-synergy, almost completely ruining his ulti. Z-Lord's ulti there, but I think MVP of that last team fight was Dingo Dow, 100%. Mito came in with the nano-boosted nano blade, but unable to touch anything. Eventually got pushed towards not Groot's May and found him, but with the, what do you call that, Roadhog ultimate? Anyways, with the Rodok ultimate, managed to push Mito away, isolate him, prevent him from touching anybody with the nano blade,
It's
and
called
that
the
really
whole hog,
secured them.
son.
The whole hog. It's not as though I've played hundreds of hours of that hero.
It's not half a hog, it's a whole hog.
Yeah, it is a whole hog, and he put the whole hog to a whole lot of use there by isolating Mito.
This is definitely the map that Benchwarmers wanting to fight back and really take it to not much composition or changes for them. Defense is going to come out. Oh, Risa with the Hanzo. Not too sure about Tox's choice of Symmetra.
Again, I think that's a conversation point for us. I think if we just ignore him, he will go away. I'm looking forward to see how they respond. They might be running an Orisa. You know, I stand corrected. Tox is out here. Looks like they want to make something interesting happen, and they do need to pull something out the bag here. This is a tough one to defend.
Yeah, there's not a lot of space between the spawn and the final marker. This Blur's just going to pop a shield on top of the car wash.
My only concern here is anything... Oh, I see a Bastion on the side of blue here, so that just could spell doom here straight away.
Yeah, it's interesting how he snuck up the stairs and he's just going to try to look for any stragglers of LT4.
What he's doing is he's not showing himself. So he's going to let them get set up in a position where he can take advantage. But Mito has spotted him now. And
Yeah,
they're all going straight onto him.
Mito spotting him was bad because you saw the rest of the team just jumped to just get him out of the fight, make him lose all relevance.
Yeah, interesting team fight this. Not a lot of kills until I said there were not a lot of kills, and there were. But
like I said, you just gotta call out who's gonna win, and they're not gonna win. That's how it works.
So who do we want to win this game? Who won the last game?
I'll leave that up for you to say. I don't want to be the person who cursed a team.
I want the red team to win so that we can have a nice map 3 here.
That's a fair point. Zilo trying to make his way out. It's just going to get spammed down by Blur with the cannon of that Orisa. And now Dingodale's the only one who managed to make it to the point. Blur just repositioning himself to catch Dingodale on the other side. Does jump down onto payload. There's not much in that fight though. Dingodale put to sleep almost immediately.
Yeah, Farah switch out here from the side of blue. This could be the thing that opens the door here. The can opener, so to speak, to break into the squishy center. If you can find a good angle to put damage on the back line. But what I was going to say before is it can be quite difficult to make a symmetrical work with a team that doesn't have the coordination of the third team as well. You know, something that needs a lot of coordination to properly execute on. And I don't see a particularly strong synergy between Symmetra and the rest of the heroes here. I could be wrong.
It's not particularly strong, but it's not weak either. The Symmetra's working out despite its obvious flaws. Oh, there's that massive barrier.
Yeah, well, that kind of spells doom, but Zealot's on the wrong side of it, or maybe it's the right side. Jeez.
It's definitely the right side because Dizzy just flew right through it and got some huge picks in the backline. Zealot getting revived is big for them. Going to be able to shield off that self-destruct and no one to defend the push anymore.
Man, they made that one look easy. This is clearly a map that they're all comfortable on. Really had a strong defense on first point, and then a strong attack as well once they got their ultis off. Spearheaded by this man, Z-Lord himself, with some aggressive play as we used to.
I think LT4 just thought they were invincible behind that massive Symmetra barrier, and they were wrong.
Yeah, clearly. I mean, if you've played with Symmetra, you do feel that way. Like, oh, it can't break. I just need to stay behind it. But it came down and to block the range damage from Farah, but Z-Lord was already on the other side, mashing the guys on the backline. So.
Well, I wonder what our last map is be. Are LT4 going to try pick a control point again because they had the advantage in Boo's Sun, or do you think they're going to go for something a bit different?
If I had to guess based on statistics, I would say we're probably going to play King's Row here. But I would say that Alt F4's strength on Busan was not necessarily indicative of particular strength on control point maps. I think that map really came down to the wire. It could have gone either way. So it just depends on what map they're most comfortable on here.
Well, that's what it is. And also, we're talking about teams that don't usually, or players that don't usually play together in teams. One of the things that you know about your actual set teams is what maps you're good at, where your strengths lie on maps. And here you don't have that.
No, you don't. So you kind of just say, hey, who wants to play what? And if someone has a particular strong feeling for a map and everybody else is okay with that, you just pick that map. And it looks like you suggested, Trinok, they are feeling the control point here.
Back to Lijiang Tower. This is a mirror image of your match against Jeff and the Kaplans.
That is 100% true. Yesterday we saw nothing but King's Row. It would go Busan King's Row third map. And today it seems like we're seeing a lot of Gibraltar Lijiang. So it's nice to see a change of pace here. I'm interested to know why teams are picking that.
There must be a part of it of, especially in our leagues, you see the same maps being played over and over again because those are the maps that people are good at. Why, if you do it here, it kind of takes away from the fun a bit because you're not really experiencing the tournament. You're kind of just doing the same thing over and over again. Yeah,
and if I think about why we did it, we were feeling pretty strong on Busan, and on Gibraltar it was a close map, but there was some hero combination or player combination we didn't want to play against, and we thought we'd rather risk it going up against Beast of Sombra and whatever they could throw at us on this map. So that was why we picked Lijiang instead of King's Row, because those are the two maps we were talking about. And we just felt like we would be stronger on this map with our Ryan Zarya than on King's Row.
It is the control center area of Lijiang Tower. It's a bit more of a tighter area, tight spaces. I don't think we're going to see much Pharah coming out in this map.
No, instead you'll see the Junkrat replacing any Pharah you might have seen otherwise. Really strong on this sort of, we call it white room area or low high. You can spam down that choke if you get the positioning first. It can be a real nightmare, and you do see both teams running that Junkrat. Triple tank on the side of blue, double tank with the Brigitte on the side of red.
Triple tank is definitely what everyone's loving nowadays as they make their way into their first engagement, and Blur and Zelo just trading fire strikes.
Yeah, interesting thing about this is that it can come down to who gets better charge in the Zarya, but not who's going to take matters into his own hands.
And Blur gets charged down himself. Talking about taking charge, there was a charge. Riptire already from Mito 9. That is a fast Riptire, but he is unable to find anyone for it. Does manage to take out Dingo Dao before being punished himself.
It's like Red is still getting aggressive here. They want to win this fight early.
I mean, if they can take this map, they're in a good position and they don't have to worry too much. There's Toxin Stocks on this Lucio, just trying to keep his team alive and make something work. Does manage to get Knockroot out while he was in the Riptide, but the Riptide does do its damage itself. It's a little bit of a trade-off happening there. Z-Lord goes down to Blur, and finding a good position here are Alt F4.
Yeah, for sure, but now blue team's gonna have to pull back here. I think red team's got enough of a foothold. They won't be able to make their way in comfortably. Both Junkrats with early ultis there, but Nito not fighting anything with his. Really nice play from both teams. Graviton though, that is a huge one. Up from Dizzy to take this choke away from red team.
Yeah, we just gotta see how Dizzy does use that. Coalescence comes out, it's gonna keep Brill alive, but there we go, Grav comes out, does catch the Graviton, and there is a lot of follow-up, the whole hog straight through, just knocking everyone forward. Dingo Dao, no scam here as he just murders his way, spinning that gun around and around and around. A Space Panda in a bad situation, and only Mito left to contest this flip.
Beautiful play from Dizzy there, showing again his star is something to be contested with. Big fat ulti. Dingo Dao had to spam in a bit there to get his ulti up the whole hog, but once he did, it was tickets for red team here.
Now it's Benchwarmer's turn to lock down out, and the same thing happens to him, but the sound barrier is definitely going to keep them alive, as Knockroot just going to spam those concussive mines in to try stop Alt F4 from being able to get into the space. They do manage to make their way through, and now they're on a bit of a snowball as they just rush straight towards the point. Earth Shatter from Blur doesn't find anyone. and he is looking in a bad situation. He's got Talon Cup around him, and he's got the whole of the rest of bench warmers, and I used a lot of words there that didn't make sense together.
Well, what does make sense is that Dizzy is popping off once again, really showing his strength in this hero, building up another ulti really close to the second ulti. Memes has the second ulti already. Wow, that was a really good goal considering just used it. But it wasn't enough. We talked about it earlier. You can hit 4 in a grab, but if you don't get follow-up, it doesn't actually matter. And the team turned to deal with Z-Lord in the background, while Memes popped his ulti in the front, and nobody was there to follow up.
Yeah, well, it was also well played by Rolo, who had a beautiful sound barrier just to keep them alive.
Yeah, 100%.
They're in a strong position. There we go. Once again, the combination of grab and whole hog I thought would come out. But what happened is Dingodile got caught by a grab himself, and now he comes up with the whole hog. Just going to be spamming down Blur. And Blur is not a happy camper right now as he goes down. And Riptide going to come through from... I thought I heard a Riptide. I was actually wrong.
Yeah, Dingodile again making a big play on that, forcing Blur out the team fight, and then Z-Lord didn't have to worry about shadows or anything. He could just drop shield, swing, hammer, pop heads with that Reinhardt.
So you could see that they're loving this whole hog grab combo, and it was actually a beautiful play from Memes to stop that combo from coming out the moment it happened.
Yeah, very, very nice play. It's always unfortunate as a Zari when you pop ultis into each other and you just kind of close your eyes, hope somebody else is gonna pick up the pieces of your big grab. But both teams there, really nice play from the supports, people we haven't talked about much in this cast so far. Both Tox and Rolo responding well to the grabs with their Lucio ultis and keeping both their teams alive for the most part.
Now on to, this is Night Market. It's also got some good spaces, some good environmental damage, where a whole hog could actually do a lot more damage just knocking people into the abyss.
It could, and the hook itself as well. Very good at getting environmental kills, but I think what it's really going to come to is which team has the stronger pharmacy here. You see Mito looking at Palmato, he wants that kill the most, he knows if he gets that, they'll win the team fight. Whereas not good, which is the ground fight.
Yeah, Mito is a very strong Farron. He's definitely trying to challenge Notgroot at the moment. Is getting some good hits on him, and Notgroot's in a bad situation, but Mito going to the ground, possibly not where he wants to be when you can fly. And Rolo just booping Skullduggery into the abyss himself. Like I said, that environmental damage is such a key component of this map.
Yeah, we spoke about the Roadhog and environmental damage, but I mean, obviously Lucio, it's his favorite to do, and Farron as well, no slouch when it comes to that. So yeah, it's dangerous to go out that way, and it means you might have to come to this choke, which is really difficult to do against this triple tank composition.
Yeah, it's dangerous to go alone, as they say, son.
It's dangerous to go with your friends as well.
Just don't go. just stay at home.
Yeah, stay in sport.
Alright,
we know these teams won't do that. Let's see what Blur can do here. He's got ulti up. He wants to make something happen.
Oh, Blur does come try and get the Earth Shadow. Barrage goes down. Not able to find anyone over. That's a bit of an unfortunate barrage from him. Blur's Earth Shadow also just 2 wasted ults in that one, and I think Notgroot just panicked a little bit.
I think Roller, the big player there with that UC ulti, though, really make sure Red Team could get nothing out of that ulti.
The Pharah fight is on, son, and neither Pharah wants to let the other one survive.
But Notgroot coming out on top, so they're taking down Mito, and it looks like he's going to help clean up the rest of the fight for his team. As the timer ticks up for the blue team, who are already 1-up in this map.
I don't know if you saw, but Space Panda popped the Valkyrie, tried to get the most sneaky revival, and Notgroot just looked at her and she flew away.
It's dangerous stuff, and now it's on cooldown, and that could be a problem. We do have big combo, Dragon Strike, grab combo, and no Lucio ulti on the side of blue team. So this could be the win of this team fight, but we'll have to see if Dizzy can make something happen with his own grab.
They need to use these ults correctly, though. They have wasted a few ults here and there. There's the grab goes out, and there's a follow from the barrage and a Dragon Strike. So much overkill in this fight. Rolo manages to survive, but what's he going to do? He has to just skate away as fast as possible.
Yeah, but if you're blue team, you're happy with that. They pop both TPS ults into the grab there. All you've got to contend with now is Blur's ulti, and you've still got your own combo coming up. So they've got 92 on the clock. They just need to win one team fight, and we'll see them do that with the grab, hopefully.
Well, Earthshatter is out. Zealot's going to have his up quick because he's very dangerous on it. Sound barrier does go out. Blur gets a huge charge down on Zealot, but he manages to survive. And then Blur gets punished for it. Space Panda's looking for that sneaky revive as she's got. Just flying around over the top, keeping Mito alive more than anything right now.
Yeah, the res has already come out from the Blue Mercy on Talon Cup.
Oh! Zealot Earthshatter.
Big dragons? Not getting anything out of that one, but Mito's still a problem in the sky here. There's nothing left to deal with him, and now Blur's here with backup. Can they do anything to win this one out?
Well, they gotta do something. Dingadao just getting a hook off, trying to get Blur out of the fight, but the protective barrier is gonna be a bit too much for Dingadao to handle. Pops that, take a breath. He has the extra health, and now he's got the whole hog, and Skeldagu is just being battered away, just smattered by Blurs.
I want to see Blue Team back up and regroup here. They've got the combo up now. That's the team fight win. They've got nothing to fear. Nothing can stop a barrage. Lucio ulti is not enough shield to give them life with barrage. So if they can just group up, they've got one fight left. Get that grab down and win the team fight off that.
Yeah, they are in the final fight territory. And like you said, I mean, Dizzy is phenomenal on those grabs.
Yeah, he's been making them look very easy. And here he comes looking for one now.
He does get behind Blur. There we go, the grab, but unable to find it much. Earthshatter from Blur and then a pin off. Dizzy and looking bad. 3 health remains, and he has a dream and a hope and a prayer as he does manage to get away and does manage to get healed by Palnatok on the Mercy. They do manage to make their way to the point, and they are going to get the overtime counter going down. Not good with his barrage. Gets punished by Mito in a bad spot to do that one. And now it's just Tox booping everyone away as he tries to keep his team in this fight.
Yeah, unfortunate from Dizzy there. We spoke him up and he just hit one solitary Lucio in his ulti, and that was not what they needed. They needed more heals in that grab with the follow-up from the Pharah. So we spoke about Dizzy and how he needed a big ulti, but coming up short there, and Zealot responded really well, or sorry, not Zealot, Blur responded really well with the Shatter to keep even the Lucio alive. So yeah, unfortunate from them, and they were able to, their team were able to clean up the team fight from there.
Yeah, this is something. This is definitely something, because every time we say something, the opposite happens. Dizzy, hey, he's great on his grabs. Oh, he just that grab was a terrible grab. Never mind.
Yeah, maybe we should just stop talking and
yeah, just
see what happens.
Just let everyone just watch the final map with no commentary.
Hey, I'm sure some people would be happy about that. But anyway.
It's possible. Oh, that's interesting. Hammond on Dizzy.
And Widow on Zero.
See what he can do. Is he's trying to bash Blur into the abyss. Unable to do so right now. Toxin Socks is going to be focused down though. Lucio in a bad situation. Too squishy to handle the Hammond, but he does survive by the skin of his teeth.
Now, not an easy hero to kill. They're playing as aggressive as it feels comfortable. Doing Dingo Dial. Goodbye. Sleeps with the hologram fishes as Red Team cleans up this fight pretty cleanly.
Yeah, that was a dominant performance from Red Team. Even not great, unable to have an impact on that fight.
Yeah, I think this composition from Blue Team, we might see some shifts now. There's no main tank, for one, which is not the most unusual thing ever, but it is fairly unusual. And Sea-Lord needs to be dealing with Mito if he's going to justify that Widow pick, and so far hasn't been able to have that impact yet.
Give us some time. He's only been on this map for at least 2 minutes.
23%, Renok. There's no time to fool around. If you want to win these matches.
There's no time to not be challenging Faris.
Exactly. Finds Finger Daldo.
Well, Blur does have his Earthshatter and he does see Rolo and just going to just pounce on him. Would be a waste of a shadow in that situation, but now he's making his way back to point as he's going to help his team defend it out. But Dizzy, for Benchwarmers, just swinging around and around and around, does manage to get Blur away from that Earthshatter, but it does go down and does find Rolo, and it's Dizzy with the minefield. Benchwarmers have an opportunity to get onto this point. The space has been denied, but he gets punished by memes.
Yeah, a bit of a late ulti there from Dizzy. I think we might see a switch out of him. The problem that Zealot's going to have here is he has to try and deal with the Widow and the Hanzo and the Pharah. So he's dealing the Hanzo there while getting domed by the Pharah. So unless he's going to create a lot of space just by being alive, yeah, he's switched off onto the 3 now. So probably a better way to deal with the Pharah in this particular match.
I think on this map you should put Dizzy back on the Zarya. If he can get a good grab near one of those environments, it could be huge for them.
Yeah, but it seems like they want to run Dingo on that off-tank role, so he's going to be switching onto the Ryan now.
Oh, not good with the barrage. Gets punished by Mito in return. Blur makes way back to point. The amount of times Blur has been on almost 0 to null health is phenomenal.
Yeah, but this is a problem for Blue Team. They have to win this team fight. If they don't win this team fight, they lose the match, and that's not good for them, obviously. So Dingo down 11 point with his Reinhardt, trying to see if they can make anything happen here.
And unfortunately for Benchwarmers, Toxin Socks is just stalling out the point as long as possible, and now the hammer down is there. Blur is just capitalizing on it completely. Space Panda is keeping her team so alive and so healed up at this point. Benchwarmers have no response to it. The overtime counter is going to be so fast. If they let go of this point for a fraction of a second, that's going to be it. And as I speak about that, it happens.
Yeah, well played from Red Team there. I think Blue Team tried something a little bit fancier when I think they should have stuck to the tried and tested with what they were doing before. The only reason it didn't work was just because of some minor execution stuff. I don't think they needed to reinvent the wheel there. So unfortunate for them dropping out of the tournament, I think. Yeah. So, but this was a really nice play. And we talked about the combo, and they got it off here perfectly.
Oh, that was a beautiful combo. If they could do more of that, it would have worked out. It would have been a different game.
That's how we do.
For sure. But I'm excited to see how who won this game. I don't know the team's name.
I'll say 4 won this game.
Okay, I'll say 4. I'm interested to see how they go forward. You know, a team with no standout play. You know, a lot of the teams have Eden players on them. The Kublas, the Centicals, 20s that you expect to do well. But this team has just got a lot of solid players. I think Mito is a standout performer. Tox as well from TCP. Blur from what's the name of that team now that I'm forgetting? Its colors are blue, but anyways, Blur from his team. Space Panda as well. So
Equinox.
You know, just a Equinox. Thank you.
Yes.
Just a lot of strong. It's a strong balanced team, and we've been seeing that a lot. These more balanced teams are the ones that are doing very well.
Well, you can't say that Benchwarmers wasn't balanced either. I mean,
no, not at all.
I think those teams were so evenly matched, and it came down to who made less mistakes, especially in that last map.
It did, 100%, and it was about how you executed on each team fight, as opposed to big mistakes or strategic errors that teams were making. It's about how many people you got in your grab. Was your team in a position to follow up in that particular scenario? Who was winning the Reinhardt battle? It's like and that was changing every team fight as different teams got advantages. So really well played. Could have gone either way in this matchup.
Very true, and unfortunately for Benchwarmers, didn't go their way. But I think that's it for you and I, son. I don't know if you have any final things to say.
No, I don't. Well played to both teams. Dizzy, I think, was a standout on that Zarya. Looked very good. And yeah, good luck to Alter 4 going forward.
Cool. Thank you, everyone, for tuning in. I will be back here at 6 o'clock for the next Talon Cup match. Thank you to Attack Shack and Nostalgia for helping us put this all together. And we're just going to play an ad from them, and then we'll see you again in an hour or so. Thank you so much for joining me, Mr. Sun Phoenix.
Thanks for having me.
Later.
Cheers.
Let's play a different game. Fire it all up again. Fire up my heart again. For me to lose, I know I'm the one to stay. I'll run away again, running away again, till I see the you of the door, of the door. Let's play a different game. Fire it all up again. Fire up my heart again.